Hey guys, Jamie here from Start Riot, and now I'm here finally with M from Nervus.
Hello, how you doing?
I say finally because I've been trying to get you on the channel for ages, and it's not that you just keep saying no, it's more just that logistically it's not yet worked out.
Yeah, that's finally worked out. It's nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Let's get the important question out of the way.
Sure.
You as a band stayed at my house last night on my couch. I met my dog Gilbert. How was it?
It was great. Thank you very much for the breakfast. And Gilbert's the best. I've never met such a great pug.
He's vivacious. He's running around the floor at the minute. I'm going to pick him up so you can see him. Here he is. I'm not sure how well behaved he'll be.
So, Gilbert, what can you tell me about your next album? Cool.
Stay tuned for the new death metal album from Gilbert the Pug. So you're currently on tour with Creeper. Yeah. Creeper, Can't Swim and Microwave. A great lineup. You guys are opening. It's a pretty great opportunity for a band that's essentially a year old, kind of. But you've all been in bands before this. You've all been musicians before this. How did this tour kind of come about?
Well, sorry, I didn't mean to take that off you. It came about because, well, I texted Will when Eternity in Your Arms came out, and I was like, hey, the album's great, congratulations, like, really happy for you. And then he was like, yeah, I really like your album too. We should play shows together. And I was like, that's just your standard kind of punk response to a compliment, like, yeah, let's tour together, let's talk about it another time. But yeah, then it actually happened. We got the offer through from their agent, and then it was like, oh, a thing. So yeah, it's awesome, yeah.
Big up Creeper for taking such great bands on tour. Second tour they've done where they've took great bands out. Last one, Milk Teeth, Energy and Puppy as well. It's sick. So you've just announced your second album, Everything Dies, will be coming out next year on Big Scary Monsters. How does it feel to sign to the UK's best label?
It's great. Like, it's really cool. Like we sent an email again and just were like, you know, we're looking at like labels to do our next album. Would you be interested? And they just said, yeah. So it was great. They're like super enthusiastic about it. They're great to work with. Like, and also they've released so much stuff that I absolutely love that it just seemed like, you know, it's great. It's perfect for us. It's brilliant.
Great label. And you've released Sick Sad World so far. Great song.
Thank you.
As is the rest of your first album. What can we expect from the rest of the album? Is it going to be kind of similar to Permanent Rainbow? Is there much of a departure?
It's you know, it's difficult when you get asked a question about how your next album's going to be different from your first or the last one, because the temptation is to go, it's better, it's louder, it's melodica, it's heavier, softer, darker, lighter. But I will say it's a lot more direct, and it feels a lot more cohesive that we wrote it and we were a band before we wrote it, because with Permanent Rainbow we weren't a band. Like, I wrote those songs and then we got together and made the album together, but those songs existed before. But with these songs, like, we were a band when they got written, so it's a different vibe, yeah, for sure.
And your debut album, Permanent Rainbow, came out late last year on Ven Records. Absolutely incredible album.
Thank you.
It's an incredibly personal album as well, talking about things like coming out as a trans woman and being sober.
Yeah.
And is it true that you wrote those songs as like a cathartic process to help you get through those, and you never really intended to necessarily release them?
100%. Like, I wrote those songs on my own in my bedroom, like, as a way to try and, like, I don't know, I couldn't afford like therapy at the time, so it was a way for me to try and work through stuff and make those feelings tangible and kind of like deal with them in a kind of the confines of making music, you know. So yeah, like, I never had intended for really anyone to hear them. Like, I posted a couple of demos online, and then Paul and Carl and Jack got in contact with me. Like, Paul and Carl and Jack are some of my best friends in the world, and like, they just said, what are you doing with these? Like, you need to play them. And so they ended up being in the band. So yeah, it's great.
It's almost like serendipity that you all came together.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Are any of those lyrical themes kind of carried on in Everything Dies? Does it focus on similar issues, or does it kind of broaden out?
100%. Like, you know, it's a lot more direct in some aspects. Like, I think with Permanent Rainbow, because I was, you know, I was worried about like these things being heard and people being able to interpret it, or like outing myself as trans or like anything like that. So that a lot of the lyrics are quite heavily cloaked in metaphor, but I think that some of the lyrics, although they're not like diaristic or autobiographical, are more like direct, and it's punchier, I think. Punchier, that's annoying. Never mind, I said it now, too late.
And you've already announced that you're going on tour next year with Milk Teeth, which would be great. Again, another great UK band.
Yeah.
Have you got any more plans that you can kind of talk about? Are you going to be touring a lot?
For now, the Milk Teeth tour, Ducking Punches shows, along with some Euro shows as well, which we haven't announced yet. But yeah, we've got loads going on. It's great.
Well, I highly look forward to the second album. I hope it's... This is a bit of a weird thing to say, isn't it? I hope it's as good as the first.
I hope it is too. You know, it's impossible to actually know how good something is when you've done it because you have no perspective. Might be a big pile of shit.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. Thanks so much for being here. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again for like the 4th or 5th time this year. We actually played a show with you, which was great.
It was the kicker.
Thanks for being here. Listen to Permanent Rainbow if you haven't already. Listen to Six Sad World, that's the first song from Nervus' second album, Everything Dies, which will be out March the
9th.
On Big Scary Monsters. Subscribe to Start Riot, like the video, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye!